what we actually need to do is make them now into pendants and necklaces. Okay guys, welcome back to Robertson Co, welcome back to London. Another live jewellery making session. Haven't made any of these for a while. T-bars we're making. These T-bars are going to be for pendants and necklaces. I've got some different size bars here. There are the, that's a centimetre, 1.5 centimetre. We're going to make some 2 centimetre. I made a massive batch of these. I don't think I've made any this year. I think I made such a massive batch of them last year. I haven't needed any, but we ran out. I actually made a few of these earlier today. That's how low of stock we are. We're not, actually I haven't run out. We've run out. Amazon have got a load of them. But they're gonna need to be restocked. I had a lot of stock. I didn't want to run out of them for Christmas, I know that, so I made a load of them. Yes. Where are we now? 4 months ago? I think that was when I last made them. Like YouTube copyright free music. But I mean a load, like over 100 or so I think I made. To remember. Plus the stock's all over, you know. It's not just our stock, it's all the other platforms' stock. Right, so let me show you the component parts. I've got, this is silver wire. Well, it's all silver wire actually. The bars are silver wire. I probably made these rings on a live stream at some point. The jump rings using our jump ring format. It's 1.5mm wire into a 3mm diameter inside diameter rings. So it's a fit. Each T-bar has 3. 2 soldered directly to it and 1 as a bail. So just need to solder them together. I just need to find, first thing is find a good fitting, well not just good fitting, they're all good fitting. We need perfect fitting one for each of these bars. That's good. Any that are slightly too loose or slightly too big, we'll use as a bail, because visually you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You wouldn't be able to see the difference. But if they're slightly too loose, and we're talking like fractions of a mil, like that one's a bit loose, they're just slightly more prone to moving out of position when I'm soldering them together, that's all it is. If you were to measure these, they'd all measure up the same size, but just that little fraction of a mil. Could even be the difference between how well they're closed and yeah, they can if they're slightly loose, it's if they're nice and tight, perfectly tight, it's easier to get them nice and straight when I'm soldering, because bear in mind we're soldering by eye. But if they're too tight, as equally, the gap is too big and noticeable. It won't feel well. You could, if you kept blobbing solder on there, probably fill it with solder, but I don't want to fill it with solder. Did I gas? Oh yeah, I did. I gassed that up, didn't I? I know I needed to gas it up, so I've got the gas. Right, flux and solder. I've already got some solder cut here on the bench. Try and use up what I've got cut already. The only problem is the reason these are the last bits left is because they were probably either slightly too big or slightly too small. Flux. Right, it's way too dark and I cannot see what I can't see what I'm doing. Let's have it full blast. Boom. That's close. I can't see where the soul joint is now. I think that's it there. See what that looks like when it comes out of the pickle. if it would go in the pickle. Right, next. YouTube music is getting bizarre. It's like a reggae version of country and western. They've conjured up this song. They consider this dark rock. I'm sure if someone's searching for dark rock, this is not what they had in mind. When people look at these, they would guess they were cast. When these are finished, polished, people would be like, I didn't think we'd make that, I need to make that many, so I never bothered with the, I'll hand make them. I would have saved a lot of time if I'd have gone down the casting route. Some more solder. Flux there. The thing is with these, if one of the rings is off, it can often make the other ring appear. Wonky when it's actually not. I mean, the most important one is the one soldered to the bar. The other one we can manipulate a little bit. From the last few live streams that the music just gets weirder and weirder from that point. I probably didn't mention this, but for this we're using hard solder because hard is the best. It's the closest colour match because it's the highest content silver out of all the different silver, the jewellery grade silver solders, because it's highly visible on these pendants. But it's also the closest to the melting point of the metal. So as the name would, why it's called. It is the hardest for beginners to use because it is the closest. Until you've really got the hang of heat control on, certainly with small jump rings and stuff like that, it's probably best to start with extra easy because the difference between the melting point of the jump ring and the solder is, 400 degrees rather than 2 or 3. But we have to use quite a thick, because of that I'm using this really thick flux mixed with meth, because it helps reduce the risk of, if you heat the metal too much, you get fire stain, which are like sort of little black spots. Almost looks like a Dalmatian dog when it's polished, so yeah. The flux, the thick flux helps, a thick layer of flux. I mean, I use the same flux for everything, which might be a mistake, I don't know. Because I use, if you were just doing gold, you would never really need this kind of, or very rarely would you really need such a thick layer of flux. It does make a bit of a mess of everything. Well, because I need it for jobs like this, I kind of, because I've got it, I use it for everything. I mean, you could, in theory, mix it with water and it'd be a little bit thinny and less glue-like, thinner in consistency with water than with the mesh. But I like the mesh because it doesn't melt and bubble off like the water does. Like when it boils, it sort of lifts off the surface, the water, and you end up with sort of patchy. With this, when it burns, it sticks. But like it sticks all the tools, it gets stuck on everything. A lot of jewelers moan about it, and they're right. Everything bad they say about it is correct. It's sticky, it's gluey, it gets everywhere, but it is a good flux for silver. If you're not using silver, if you're not doing silver, I'd highly recommend it. If you're not doing silver, I would recommend using much thinner, watery gold fluxes. Yeah, when I'm sat here doing live streams about silver and 22 karat gold rings together, I'm using this. It's quite hard to justify the use of it. But this is why I use this. There's jobs like this why I use this flux. Like this is an ideal example because sometimes I'm having to reheat, to move the. I'm having to reheat, move the jump ring. The silver's taking quite a lot of heat. Like the potential for fire stain is high on this job. Even if I used water and the flux was more patchy in places, it might cause an issue. It is removable. People say it's not. They're wrong. But it's just more work getting rid of it. So this is a perfect example of what I was just saying. I had to constantly reheat this because I'm moving the jump ring slowly. You'd think I'd have got better at it, not worse, after the 7th attempt, but no. Still looks wanky. Do you know what I think? I think the reason I'm having problems with that is the actual I think that jump ring might be a bit wonky. We will see. But yeah, the other thing is, I quite often have to redo these, like not completely redo them, but sometimes reflow the solder because there's such a thick layer of flux on these. You can't really see at this point until all the flux is cleaned off and they're pre-polished. It will sometimes reveal porosity and the almost visible porosity underneath the flux, which has to be cleaned off. Right, I need 7 of these as possible bales and then we're done. I will actually put these on, I'll solder these together, stick them on a jump ring. Well, it's quite a big jump ring by all accounts. A sort of 20mm jump ring that I've got over there, which just makes them easier to, one, pick out the pickle. But also these will go in a barreler probably, so to re-polish. So it just makes them a lot easier, especially as we've got that massive barreler. I'm just popping the solder underneath the joint. As long as you've got a good close fitting joint. I know it's sort of, I think the way I was taught was to rest the solder on top of the joint, which is just ridiculous because it just blows away. I think that was how we were taught. I'm pretty confident it was. Sort of fluxed it with borax and sort of tried to balance it on top. The other way, oh no it wasn't actually, I lie, it wasn't. I remember now, the way where I was taught was to get a piece of steel and use solder. You actually use a solder pick, which I'll show you, it's quite a cool way. Have I got one here? Yeah, there it is. I do this with, if I'm doing really small joints, it's almost like you pick it up like a pencil because it doesn't flow on the end of the steel. I think you can use titanium solder picks for this as well. I haven't tried, but I think that's the tip. Because you can't actually solder it, titanium. Well, you can, but you need to. You can't do it in oxygen. So you'd have to. If you actually wanted the solder to flow, you'd have to blow argon over the surface. to reduce the oxygen, and then it will flow. So as long as you're not blowing argon over the surface, as long as you're in oxygen, it won't flow, it will sort of ball up. Solder basically balls up on the end. Yeah, this is how I was taught to do it. But it would have been easier just to stick it underneath, you know? But then, there was some, to be honest, this is probably the most useful way of being taught to solder, because there are some jobs, like if you're doing chain repairs, or just soldering together a chain, obviously the things, you can't lay them down flat like this, so this is the way. It is a cool way of soldering. So you just ball up the solder. Look at that. I don't know if you can even make that out, but there is a ball of solder on the end of that. And then once the silver's up to temperature, you can put it exactly where you want it. Boom. That is actually a pretty good way of doing these. Yeah, that is effectively what solder picks and solder probes are for. I read that they, people are banging on about them, they're for moving solder and all that. Yeah, you can do. Or you can use it to pick it up like a pencil. Titanium's cool, but when I was starting, I think titanium was really expensive. So, and plus titanium, I think was titanium a NASA thing? It's relatively new, isn't it? So yeah, we were just, the old school way was just a thin piece of steel. Because getting the silver solder to actually flow on the steel would be, if you wanted to do it, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are times when it does. I've used that loads. I've never managed to get silver or gold to flow up it. It always beads up on the surface. Right, there we go. There's our bales. Let's get one of these out and take a look. These usually, like the flux is so thick on these. These normally take a long time to get this flux off. Is that an early one? That might be an early one there. Even the first one that we've done will still have, still got little bits of flux. So actually it looks almost clean, but that's going to need a little bit longer in the flux. Close up. So yeah, that's still got some flux on it. It's going to need a little bit longer in the pickle, and then quite a lot of polishing. But these T-bars, it's going to need straightening out as well. But obviously T-bars like this will be a pendant, but these were originally dress fittings. So they're basically pocket watch is what probably their biggest claim to fame. They were for watch chains. But before that, they would have been, the pocket watch chains would have just taken the design from cufflink fittings. There would have been a cufflink fitting. That could be, still today, that would be a cool cufflink back. Slightly longer, and you're going to get buttonholes, so for pocket watch chains or lapel chains. And today, T-bar necklaces. I mean, pocket watch chains still in production. So guys, that's going back in the pickle, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles.